today's session will be conflict resolution in digital age. So the problem here is because I have been looking into this issue from media literacy approach. So why is it necessary to bring up the question of media literacy on fake news? The answer is, uh, this question is that we are focusing on verification tools here that are at the disposal of ordinary citizens. The problem is, if recently we were talking about harassment, we should stay put against the harassment, but we actually don't know if we are being harassed on social media, how to actually bust those pictures or news or something like that. So in that case, media literacy is very much important. It alerts people to basically importance of playing their role as an auditors, as an inspectors for every message, every content that come across to them. So specifically in this presentation, I actually won't train you on this, but I will try to sensitize you that what are the tools that are available. So it will enable you to understand the digital communication and the tools available online. And probably at the end of this session, you'll try to acquire those tools online because everything is free and it is widely available, and there are thousands of tools that you can use. You'll be able to identify text and pictures and how to conduct a reverse search, how to look into the metadata, how to use different APIs. Probably you have heard about the APIs. These are the things, but if we go into the practice, it will take some time. So I'll be talking about fake news, how it intensifies the social conflict, try to put it into the context that what actually fake news is, because we have heard a lot about fake news. Then I'll talk a little bit about fake websites and the fake news websites, especially deep fake, photography, reverse search techniques, something about captions, troll baits, social media bots, transparency issues, how to identify rumors, and some basic platform to bust fake news, some basic API-based tools. So the first case study is a Pizzagate, probably, that how fake news is related to conflict. That is an infamous case, a fake news story, and comments on that story moved a man to shoot up and sprayed a lot of bullets in a pizzeria in Washington, D.C., and that all was because of that fake news. So that is a very famous case. Another famous case is Russia's internet agency. So during and after 2016 US presidential elections, Russian agents created social media accounts to spread fake news, and that stirred protest, forwarding presidential candidate Donald Trump while discrediting Hillary Clinton. So there were like 3,500 paid advertisements on social media. Can you imagine that? So all those advertisements were focused on Donald Trump, and they were discrediting Hillary Clinton. But people were unable to recognize those paid advertisements. Why? The only answer is because they were not media literate. So they didn't know that this is the paid advertisement, because how to analyze the context, how to analyze the text, how to analyze the pictures, how to look into the metadata, how to look into different angles of the pictures, flipped pictures or straight pictures. That is not a laborious job, that is very easy. There are applications available, and I'll take you through those applications. Another very important case study is Cambridge Analytica. So it was a company that specialized in using data. So you all use social media, and you use it for free, all right? So if you are using something for free and you are not paying for it, that means you are the commodity. So they are selling you. So they basically sold all that data, and you know the infamous case and how that data was used in 2016 elections. So there were 87 million Facebook's users, and their data was used without their consent. So that's huge amount of data. And people were not knowing that what they are seeing on their Facebook pages or in their Twitter feed, where it is coming from and why they are seeing that on their Twitter feed. Because AI, probably you heard the term artificial intelligence, that works in a different way, all right? So machine learning and AI has gone to next level. And in next 6 months, probably, you're going to see a lot when I'll talk about deepfake. Another case about how fake news basically intensifies conflict is Black Lives Matter. That's very recent. So in summer 2020, George Floyd's death sparked outrage in America and led to thousands of Black Lives Matter protests across the country. And there were a lot of fake news, a lot of fake articles, a lot of fake tweets, and tweets were done by the bots. Probably you know about the bots. They actually, in seconds, they tweet like in thousands and millions, you can say. So people were unable to identify these tweets were whether coming from real accounts or from bot accounts. So another important case study, Rohingya. A lot of posts about Rohingya Muslims were coming from the fake entities, from the fake websites, and they were saying that they were burning their own villages and they were showing the bodies of their soldiers. So everything was fake, all right? So there was a huge debate that how this fake news is intensifying Rohingya conflict. And this is the most interesting. Can you imagine that a government is feeding fake news to its own citizens? China's 50C company or 50C party. So the effort is to stifle conflict rather than arouse it. So many Chinese citizens believe that their government has employed 2 million people. 2 million people, that is a huge number. And what they are doing online propaganda. And the amount of that propaganda is that on daily basis, they are posting 43,000 posts. 43,000, that's huge number. And that is done by the Chinese government. And 448 million posts per year. And all those posts were fake. And Chinese people were unable to identify these are fake. So the fake news is not only fake news, fabricated messages, distortions, bits of truth, and everything in between is fake news. So not all information being passed along online is complete fiction, but some of it, but we have to understand when we put fake news into the context, it's distortion, bits of truth, fabricated message, and everything in between. And we call it bad news phenomenon as well. So when we put it into the conflict perspective, we can say biased news is also fake, comes to the definition. Disinformation, fake news itself, hoaxes, malinformation, misinformation, parody, and satire. Can you imagine a parody account can lead Defense Minister of Pakistan to tweet to Russia that we are going to nuke you down? I'm talking about Khwaja Asif, so I'll use that case study. So then, propaganda. So when we put it into the perspective, false information, misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation, they mix together. Sometimes they are false and sometimes they are intent to harm. So it also leads you to your confirmation bias. Probably you heard this term many a time in these sessions. So it allows you to see what you want to see. It allows you to search what you like to search, all right? Because you do not look into other opinions and other point of views, all right? So you'll more likely believe it and ignore things that contradict or are in conflicting viewpoints. So confirmation bias actually skews your consumption. Can you see these two guys? And probably when you see their programs, you can think about it. Probably when you like Shahzeb Khanzada or like Arshad Sharif, might be you are falling prey to confirmation bias. And this is very important to understand when that how it influences your information seeking process. Biased search for information and biased favoring of the information, biased interpretation of the information, and biased recall of the information. And ultimately, that is going to put you in echo chamber. Yesterday, I heard that term that was used by Dr. Savera Shami. So what echo chamber does, it basically, yes. Well, LPG के ऊपर जो उन्होंने प्रोग्राम किया था, that was a kind of investigative program. But again, whenever you like Shahzeb Khanzada, and when you do not want to listen opposite viewpoint, you only watch that program, all right? And you are not going to the opposite viewpoints and you are not listening to them, then you are falling prey to the confirmation bias. If you are watching Arshad Sharif's programs as well and Khanzada's programs as well, and you are drawing a comparison between these two, that the information provided by Shahzeb and information provided by Arshad Sharif, how both informations are correct or incorrect, where are the loopholes, and you decide at your own. In that way, you become your editor of your own information. So probably in that case, you are not actually falling prey to the confirmation bias. But if you are listening to only one viewpoint, one media outlet, one media group, one journalist, probably you are part of that echo chamber as well. So, so how do you know that you are stuck in an echo chamber? Are you hearing the same ideas and viewpoints repeatedly over and over again? Let's say we are not watching Shahzeb Khanzada, we are watching Arshad Sharif. So what Arshad Sharif does? Same viewpoints again and again. So a lot of people watch ARY, same viewpoints. Does this group tend to only accept one viewpoint? Is it rare that anyone cites evidence to support that viewpoint? दूर से आपको paper हिला दिया जाता है that we have this evidence, we have this paper, but no one actually tries to zoom into that paper and shows you that it is authentic and it is coming from authentic sources. Does the viewpoint seem primarily based on unverified rumors, and are opposing facts or ideas discouraged or ignored? If you answer yes to any one question, you are stuck in echo chamber. Congratulations. So, how to avoid? As a journalist, I actually try to consume news in a different way. I'll show you that how I consume news. Because at the moment I am building the perspective, and I'll show you the applications in next 4 or 5 minutes. So I look into the both viewpoints, all right? And then I build my own viewpoint on the basis of my knowledge and my technological knowledge, the applications I usually use. So in that way, you can avoid echo chamber. So spotting a fake website is again a very important issue in Pakistan. There was a case when Dunia News broadcasted a news. They actually put it on their website that now you do not need a visa to go to the US. Pakistanis do not need a visa to go to the US. That news was coming from a satire website, all right? And after that, US Embassy received so many calls and queries that how we can go to the US, and later on they had to issue a press release that news was fake. So what happened? The guy who was actually sitting on the monitoring the websites, he actually got that story from a satire website. Same is the case happened with Khwaja Asif, because he got a tweet from a satire Twitter account and he thought that is coming from the defense minister of Russia. So he replied him instantly. Later on it proved to be a satire account. So some of the basic, consider the source and check the author, check the date, check your biases, ask the experts, is it a joke? supporting evidence, and read beyond that website. All right, whenever you see any news story, you should go beyond that website to search for that story, because whenever we see something on Facebook, instantly we click it and we share it. We do not try to copy it and put it into Google's reverse search that whether this information is true or not. So a good tool is, these are some of the websites, all right? World News Daily Report, National Report, Empire, HassanNisar.com, Javed Chaudhry, Daily Pakistan, etc., etc. Everything on these websites you should not believe. And there is a huge list, like Newsday is a very important news website. They have 52 historical high-risk domains. Washington Post, 20 historical high-risk domains. New York Post, 16 historical. Los Angeles Times, 13 historical. That means they actually keep similar kind of a name with that website, like newyork.org, newyorktimes.org, something like that. And you think that this is coming from a real New York Times. So if you see here, I have opened a website here. The Onion. Can you see that? So The Onion, that is a satire website. And people who actually don't know, there are many satire websites, there are many fake websites. So in order to understand that how these satire websites work, there is a tool, Stop Agenda Plus. That is a very important tool. So it's an API, artificial intelligence based tool, Stop Agenda Plus. So you can download it and you can actually add it into your browser extension. It works well with Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. So how I am using this, let's say I have this tool. So can you see that at the top? I am actually clicking on that. So when I click on that tool, it instantly tells me, and it gives me a summary that this website is satire, accuracy is satire, the source exclusively use humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity. Can you imagine that? I mean, you do not have to go through the entire website in order to look its authenticity, that what kind of website or what kind of news source it is. Instantly, this application, this API tells you that you should not be believing this website. So if I click on Geo News, so now it's different. Bias is right center. So these media sources are slightly to moderately conservative in bias. They often publish factual information that utilizes loaded words, etc., etc. And accuracy is mixed. It's not completely accurate. Sometimes they actually do not identify sources properly. Sometimes their news turned out to be fake news. Sometimes it turned out to be inaccurate. So if you want to look into more detail, you can click on more detail through this application, and it will give you a complete fact check on this website, that what kind of website you are. It will give you complete analysis of that website. So in that case, you can look into the authenticity of any news source. As a journalist, as a media practitioner, or as an academician, you should not be believing everything what you see on internet. I don't believe. I literally don't believe. Even when I see a single advertisement, that kind of advertisement, I think that news site is running for the advertisement. So I do not believe such kind of websites. So Stop Agenda is a great tool, one of those great tools which you can use in order to spot fake news. Sometimes there are domain names, and you also have to look into the domain names, that what kind of domain name this website has. The next issue, very important, is deep fake. Anybody knows about deep fake and how it works? Okay. So, yes, Farooqi Saab.
एक्ट कोई और कर रहा होता है लेकिन फेस आपका उस पे आ जाता है.
Yes, absolutely right. But it's more than that. Um, if you go in, I'll have to quickly finish this. Um, Probably this is our all-time favorite Tom Cruise. So, so deep fake basically face swaps. All right. So it exploits two machine learnings, ML models. One model creates the forgeries from a data set because you cannot put someone's face on someone's other's body instantly. You need to have a data set. Data set means the data set of different videos because that machine learning and artificial intelligence look into your expressions, your nuances, that how you behave, how your lips move, how your eyes move, and how you speak. So one machine learning model creates forgeries, while the other tries to detect if the video is indeed a fraud. All right? So it's an ongoing process. The second model actually keeps on learning and keeping and feeding that other model that this forgery can be detected and you have to work on that. So that means AI is taking us to the next level. So in your mobile phones, if you're using TikTok or Wombo application, you can use some basic deep fake. But when you learn machine learning, when you learn AI, I mean, this is the next thing, next big thing. So there are ample researches available. So experts believe that perfectly real digitally manipulated videos are anywhere from 6 months to 1 year away. It's a month-old research. That means you won't be able to detect them. They can manipulate you. They can actually copy your audio and you will not be able to understand that. So I'll just play a little bit this video. He's not actually Tom Cruise.
In this reel, you're going to see
Do we
my
have audio?
amigo, Chris Umi. He's going to introduce to you the wonderful world of deepfakes, how AI and VFX are unlocking the future of our imagination. What's up, TikTok? You guys cool if I play some sports?
So I'm sorry, I have to quickly finish it. So at some point of time, this is going to overcome the human capacity to recognize. So this is not old. Yes.
Recently, we have seen a lot of leaks,
Yes.
video leaks and
Yes.
audio leaks in
Yes.
Pakistan.
Yes.
So, are they correct or fake?
I
This
can't
is
say
what
they are
we don't
correct
know.
or fake,
Yes.
but at this point of time, I want to make a point that in the longer run or in present, common people who are not social media literate, they won't be able to recognize that this is a deep fake and this one is real. For that, you need to have media literacy.
Yes.
You need to understand different applications. You need to have techniques. So how this intensifies the conflict, this is very interesting. And deepfake is not new phenomenon. It started late 60s, even 50s, when they use cutouts in the programs and put it on different faces. That video is there, but I have very short time. Again, but I play this video, Vladimir Zelensky's video, because that was deepfake when he was asking his army to actually lay arms down, and that was posted on their national website.
Я змушений приймати складні рішення. Спочатку я вирішив повернути Донбас. Настав час глянути правді у вічі. Не вийшло.
So what happened here? So when that video was posted, instantly there was confusion in the armed forces in Ukraine, and later on they actually removed that videos, but their national broadcasting website was hacked and that video was uploaded over there. Probably in the longer run you are going to see some video from Nawaz Sharif or Imran Khan. It's a matter of time. So yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
We are not aware about cyber securities, and we should know now. This is the right time that we are afraid of all these new techniques and AI and machines learning and everything. So this is very dangerous as it is appearing for us, because we have seen a lot of leaks on TV also. So what should we do? There should be, this is very good that information literacy, media literacy is very important. And plus, we should also know cyber securities. That
All right.
we as teachers and all those students, what should they do now? How to prevent all these things? How to control our exposure, our life, and how to protect all these things?
Well, thank you very much for asking this question. My session is all about this thing. So, ma'am, there are a lot of free applications, apps available. It's just matter of interest. You can go online and use all those free applications, all right? Let's say there's another technique that you do not want to read an article, complete article of 1,000 words, and you want to look into that how sources are cited in that article, whether this article is authentic or not, and you do not have time, you are meeting deadlines and you have to use it as a source. There are AI-based applications that are going to help you out to read that article and give you instantly the report that how authentic this article is. So that application is, let's say I have opened that one article of Dawn. Internet chal raha hai ji? Okay. So can you see this application? So this is working on that article. So the name of that application is Factual. So I haven't read this article. I just actually opened this article and I want to know about this article, that what kind of article it is. So it tells me that the factual grade is based on its site quality is high, authors' expertise are not available. Sometimes if you go on the BBC, you'll have the author's expertise as well. It tells you that this author constantly write on these issues. And apart from that, source quality of this article is medium, it's not very high, and tone is quite neutral. So in that way, you can look into such kind of, let's say I have opened a BBC article, so I look into the factual grade. So the factual grade of this article is 72%, all right? And BBC's quality or authenticity is very high, all right? The author is Becky Morton. Author expertise are medium and source quality is medium, and generally it's neutral. If you want to go into the detail, you just click here and you'll have more detail about this article. What does that mean? That if you are using some source and you are just copying from that source and you are quoting it somewhere, you must be knowing that what kind of source you are quoting. So that is very much important. So this factual application, and this is also an API, and that actually works well with your browser, all of your browsers. It works well with Chrome, it works well with Edge and Firefox. I use Chrome, that's why I have everything in my Chrome. So that is another very important application. So it tells you about news articles, all right? And it gives you a complete picture, because sometimes when you are reading an article, you need 10, 15, 20 minutes to read and absorb that article. But if you are using it as a source, you can look into this applications as well. All right. So coming back to the deep fake, even Barack Obama, Joe Biden, their deep fakes are available, and they are available widely. These two videos, this is also created by artificial intelligence.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things.
Every day we rely on law enforcement
This
to
is
save lives.
Joe Biden. These
Then on
two
January
videos are
6th, we relied on law
also
enforcement
AI
to
based
save our
and they are fake.
So,
democracy.
for instance,
We saw what happened.
Another important is fuxography and how it intensifies conflict. Altered pictures. So these two pictures are very famous.
I have a question, sir.
Yes.
So even I couldn't, identify or understand that these were the fake videos.
Yes.
I mean, how can a layman or a common person can identify that? Even
All
though I
right.
know that this is fake.
All right. It's a very good question. You know about keyframing? Keyframing, every video has certain frames. So you need to have its first frame and you need to reverse search it, that where it appeared from. If it is from some press conference, let's say Obama, this video was some kind of press conference, all right? If you take one frame of that video, all right, and put it in reverse search, unfortunately, at the moment, we do not have any application to reverse search the video data, all right? But in video, we can use the thumbnail. So the first frame of that video, you just grab the frame, all right, and put it into the reverse search. I will talk about reverse search in a minute. And first frame will tell you that this usually, every video has a thumbnail on internet. If you are not putting a thumbnail on any video, the first frame of that video or the last frame of that video will become the thumbnail, all right? So when you will search through thumbnail, you'll get to know whether this video exists on social media or not. So that is one technique. The second technique is, because at the moment, AI is not that much of high quality. At the moment, you have to look into the eyes and the movement of the lips. Because if you see previous video, Obama's lips movements are very different. And you will feel it.
we're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any
Something
point in
is
time,
swollen, something like
even if
that.
they would never say those things. So, for instance,
But the question is, through machine learning, and AI is constantly learning, constantly fixing errors, all right? That means in next 6 months or a year, you won't be able to actually identify that this is fake or this is true. So fuxography, these are very important images. These are two images. So first image, it says a Syrian boy sleeping between the graves of his parents, all right? In second picture, he's waving a victory sign. What does that mean? And these pictures, he's preparing to sleep and something like that. Fact check. So whatever you see on social media, always look into that whether it's true or not. So basically, this was a project by a Saudi photographer. And this picture was used on social media during Syrian conflict, that to intensify the conflict, that an orphan boy is sleeping between graves of his parents. So that is another. This is another Syrian picture that was confused with Ukrainian war. That is very recent. So that was used during the Ukrainian war by the Western media, but this picture actually came from Syria and it's quite old. And if you reverse search it, you'll get the story that where this picture came from. Another important, very famous picture from Pakistan. And probably all of you have seen this picture on social media. That's fake. Again, this is the real picture. This is the made-up picture or edited picture. It's very easy. You just put it online and you'll find the real pictures. So that's why, and it's not new. And very important, this portrait of Lincoln is not true. You know that. So this portrait, he never posed like that, all right? So this portrait was the head is of Lincoln, and the pose or the body is of someone else. So this was taken out soon after the Civil War, and it's a very famous case study. So cutting out pictures, making cutouts, making deep fake videos, it's not a new thing, but technology has intensified it. So how to spot that? So the first thing is perform a reverse search. So reverse search, what reverse search is? So what you are going to do, I'll skip this. There is another that is also very famous, जिसमें Imran Khan का था, and another picture, probably staff of Malia Lodi, they gave her this picture in the UN, that this picture is from the pellet gun victims of Indian occupied Kashmir, but that picture was from Syria as well. And it created a lot of buzz on Indian media that Malia Lodi, who was our representative in the United Nations, is using fake picture in UN. So what happened? Because they didn't reverse search and they just picked that picture from some online website and gave it to the ambassador, and she presented that picture in the UN. So reverse search, probably you all know about the reverse search. There is a functionality. There are many ways to conduct reverse search. The basic way is Google, because Google is the biggest platform. The second way is you just need to put that picture in the image section and upload it, and it will pull up all those pictures that are similar to that picture. But sometimes it will not pull the picture, but still the picture is unreal, picture is fake. How it happens? There is a technique of flipping. You know, if you'll take my picture from there, so when you put it into a flipping software, it will make my right to left and left to right. So when you flip the picture, picture will remain same, it will look same, but Google's algorithm will not actually pick it up. So what you need to do two things. You need to download any flipping software. There are ample flipping software, you can note it down. You can download any flipping software. If your results are not coming up in TinEye or in Google reverse search or in InVid, I'll talk about InVid in a minute. So you flip that picture, flip it and then reverse search it. You'll get the results, definitely, if that picture is fake. So the second platform is TinEye. I'm not great fan of TinEye, but it's good. It's paid as well. Google is free. So you need to use TinEye platform. Another important platform is, which I have here, it's called InVid platform. It has a complete toolbox for verification methods. It's a one thing and you can do everything in it. Video analysis, keyframing, thumbnails analysis, video rights, and metadata. I'll talk about metadata in a minute, that what metadata is. So, so you can actually analyze a lot of stuff here, and it's completely free, completely free. So you just need to put, let's say on image. So image analysis, magnifier, you can check metadata, you can use forensics, OCR, check GIFs. So you can do multiple things with these, like data analysis as well. Twitter analysis is logged, probably it's paid. So this is a free tool, InVid. So you can explore that tool. So if we try to explore it, it will take 2-3 hours to explore everything. So I'll quickly pause to the next thing, metadata. So what metadata is? So sometimes, as a journalist, you get pictures from the field. That's not actually on the display. Okay, you get pictures from the field. You get pictures on WhatsApp. You get pictures in your email, and you are meeting deadlines, and you have to publish those pictures. Later on, it turned out to be a fake picture. So there are tools like EXIF tools. We call it EXIF tool. So they basically looked into the metadata. One of your friends sends you a picture that I have taken this picture in Bahawalpur, and you want to look into that picture was taken in some desert or somewhere. So you want to look into that, whether that picture was taken in Bahawalpur or not. You put it into the EXIF tool. So what it does, it actually opens up everything, because analog EXIF tool is, it reveals the metadata that when this picture was taken. I'll perform a search quickly, because we have very short time. Okay, I'll go to the metadata. So just to give you an idea what it can do. Locate a file. So I put my picture in it and submit it. So can you see this picture was taken in, I'm sorry, I'm smoking at that time. But I quit it 3 years back. So the metadata tells us the make of the camera, that was Samsung, model, orientation, X resolution, Y resolution, resolution units, softwares, etc., exposure time, flash was used or didn't use. Then the most important thing is GPS information, all right? So what you can do, you can look into the GPS information that whether this picture is true or not. When pictures are manipulated and they are not real, you will not find metadata on those pictures. So you should be skeptical about those pictures, that these pictures could be untrue. So let's see, I'll view it on the GPS location. So it will open up the GPS location where this picture was taken. It was taken in Hilversum, Netherlands. So it will exactly tell you where this picture was taken. So what happens, your mobile phone has these functionalities. When you take picture from your mobile phone, it actually punches all the metadata in your picture. That is the hidden information. You must be knowing where that picture was taken. And if you do not find, and someone tells you that I have taken this picture from a mobile phone and there isn't any metadata, there are ample chances that this picture is manipulated. Well, in DSLR case, you will have all the other functionalities like aperture, shutter speed, ISO, where the flash was used or not, all right, timing of that picture, all right. But one thing you won't have probably, if your nowadays cameras are having GPS as well. But if your camera is not coming with the GPS, probably you will not have that functionality in your picture. But at least you will have this information that this picture was actually taken, that was not manipulated. When pictures are taken, not manipulated, you will have this information. When pictures are manipulated, all the metadata will be erased. Yes, sir.
Possible to know the
But this is a very good
the
question.
location,
Whether
yeah.
your mobile phone location is off, turned off, and your internet is also off. In some cases, again, iPhone and some other high-end phones, they still actually punch your location. So there was an experiment that was done in Washington, D.C. A journalist from Wall Street Journal, he basically completely switched off his iPhone and roam around DC's roads. And later on, when he looked into the data, all of his travel journey was actually added into his mobile phone. So, yes. What it does? Location data before sharing on WhatsApp or somewhere. All right, yes, if this functionality is, again, yes, you can remove it, but these tools are so powerful, they still pull it up. Because whatever you are doing on the internet, whatever you are doing with technology, your footprint will remain there. Keep this thing. And if you delete your pictures from the internet, they are still there. They won't go away anywhere.
Intensify the situation, or that would be that would resolve the situation, echo chambers, and as the yesterday that was discussed about echo chambers, and what was the other term, bubble filters. filter bubbles.
No, the basic purpose of looking into metadata is to look into the authenticity. Here the question is the authenticity of media artifacts, that how authentic they are. So metadata only tells you the authenticity. And obviously, if you have authentic information, you'll get yourself out of echo chamber. All right? Because you do not have one-way information. Authentic information obviously put you away from the echo chamber. All right, so these are the tool. Analog EXIF, this is one. JPEG and PNG stripper, EXIF tool, and metadatago.com. So if you do not want to download these applications, you can go to metadata.com, metadata2go.com, or you can use NVID's platform. NVID is great because you get everything in NVID. No, 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 no. Meta means the huge, all right? Data is the data. That means there is a huge data behind every picture or in video as well. So it is not owned by Facebook. Meta is a separate thing. Metadata is a term we use in digital world that is a pile of data that is hidden in any media artifact, in videos as well, and in audio, in pictures as well. Yeah. Who owns these applications or this data? This application. All right. There is a lot of skepticism about these applications, right? I always come across these questions that how authentic these applications are. Again, like probably in my browser, you can see a lot of applications. Again, my advice is you do not rely only one thing. You actually cross-check with everything. As a journalist, it's my habit that I cross-check with everything. So if you're relying only one thing, there are chances that you will fall prey to the manipulation. But if you are cross-checking with multiple sources, that is the basic rule of journalism, you know. So then probably there are chances that you get the authentic or true information. Yes?
I want to know about dark web. Dark web. I have heard a lot about dark web, but not clear about that.
Okay, I didn't include it in this. Yes.
सर मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था कि मेटा डाटा को चेंज भी तो किया जा सकता है, जैसे आप वीडियो को अपलोड करने से पहले उसकी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें तब्दील हो जाती है. मैं खुद यूट्यूब पे वीडियो अपलोड करने से पहले उसका मेटा डाटा चेंज करता हूँ अपनी मर्जी के, उसमें टैग्स ऐड करता हूँ, उसका टाइटल चेंज करता हूँ, उसकी डेट भी कभी कभी चेंज करनी पड़ती है. तो जब ये सारा कुछ चेंज हो सकता है तो ये सॉफ्टवेयर
जितनी एडिशंस आप करते हैं वो एडिशंस भी पकड़ी जाती हैं कि इसमें कितनी एडिशंस हुई हैं, कितनी दफ़ा चेंज किया गया है. सो यू कैन एक्चुअली get into that ये picture इतनी दफ़ा edited है. There are again extensive techniques as well. अगर आप pictures को जो है वो Photoshop में लेके जाएं तो उसमें भी आप layers दर layer उसको back reverse, लेकिन वो बहुत extensive हो जाता है. At this point of time I do not want to discuss it. उसमें भी आप जो है वो उसको देख सकते हैं. So there are many ways. Okay sir, wrap it up. Yes, I know I will. In a minute, just in a minute. So these are important tools. Again, I wanted to discuss a lot. There are still remaining many things. But again, I still wanted to discuss bots. But quickly, I'll tell you, there are two applications, Bot Sentinel and Botometer. I have already opened them up. So here you can look into the authenticity of any Twitter account. That what is the behavior of that Twitter account, then Botometer. So I'll open my Twitter. Probably if you open your Twitter, you won't see this thing written under different accounts: unknown, normal, 0%. Can you see that on your Twitter account? No, you won't be able to see that because you do not have this functionality. Normal, unknown. So what is this? This is basically an API that is working on my Twitter. So whenever I get tweet from anyone or I follow any account, I'll get to know that how authentic this Twitter account is. So what is the behavior? Whether it's a bot, it's a real human, and what kind of sharing behavior he or she has exhibited in past 6 months. So I can look into his or her complete report of 6 months as well or a year report as well कि कितनी जो है वो इनकी है authenticity कितनी है उसकी. So these are two applications. Quickly, again, I'll skip that. So, troll baits and click baits, I'll also skip that. Last thing which I want to talk here is this application, Apify. This is one of the best application you can use in order to scrape data. You can scrape data. This is a paid platform, but my last account was suspended because they give you free access for a month. They have a store. So on this store, you have different web scrapers. So you can scrape data from Twitter, you can scrape data from YouTube, you can scrape data from Facebook and Wikipedia and many platforms. So it's great for researcher as well. So I will not go into the actually telling that how to use it because it will take a lot of time, but you can explore this maybe some other day when we'll be having a one-day workshop, so I'll teach you how to use this. So in order to gauge the authenticity of anything, whether it's YouTube channel, it's a influx of maps, it's a content available on Google, TikTok. So there are many scrapers. So you can use all these scrapers. I usually use Content Checker and Twitter scraper and GIF scroll animation. So these all applications are free for 1 month. But if you are constantly working on something, you can pay some $25 or $30 and you can have full functionality. And let's say you want to look into the tweets of Imran Khan. There are 30,000 tweets. You are doing a research on Imran Khan's Twitter account. So you cannot look into every tweet one by one. So you'll just go and you give keywords and it will scrape all the tweets. It will create analysis of those tweets and it will give you a report that what kind of behavior that Twitter account is exhibiting. Last but not the least, I'm sorry, Dr. Saab, but probably yes, you will have a lot of handouts and everything. So you have heard this term Ouroboros. If not, it's basically a circular symbol depicting a snake or a dragon swallowing its own tail. So as an emblem of wholeness or infinity. So lightly probe some rumors and you will find no primary source that parented that rumor or that news. So rather a tweet or an article or a rumor jars onto another story or a tweet and that links and that goes on like eternity. So my advice is, if as a journalist, if you cannot find a mouth without someone else's tail in it, visualize the Ouroboros. That means you are falling prey to a fake story. Thank you very much. I guess I was on time.
There is just last question here.
Yes.
Is it on?
Though I missed a lot of stuff in between, but time is the key.
All
yes.
right. Thank you so much, Sir Adeel, for such an informative presentation. A comment would be, this all reminded me of the 2016 movie Snowden. And yeah, so one thing I would just like to inquire, you have told us about a lot of applications and we talked about cybercrime and everything. So do you think cybersecurity could be integrated probably in personal or social accounts? Could that be of any help? Because if we talk about metadata, it's not an easy thing for a simple layman to access, talking about digital technology and everything. So is there a possibility that cybersecurity could be of any help? Thank you.
Well, when we say cybersecurity, that is the basic requirement when you log into the social media. All right. So I give great importance to my personal social media accounts. So there is a separate session of cybersecurity which I conduct usually. It's a 2-hour session. So on passwords and how to renew your passwords and what are the applications to secure your social media and how much you can secure. So yes, this is very important at the moment for journalists as well. And ma'am, as far as your question is concerned, dark web or the deep web, I'm hoping I can conduct a session on deep web in Punjab University someday. So last point, going into the deep web, you cannot go through your normal browser. You need to use certain other techniques. So there is a Tor browser, there are gateways, you use those gateways, and then you go into the deep web. But in FC College, I probably refrain accessing those. I know I have those functionalities, my laptops, I can access it, but not on this internet or not from this platform. So definitely we can do on deep web, a session on deep web someday. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.